right, gonna do a little bit more vlogging, heading back out from the Women's Resource Center. And I wanted to tell you guys about an experience I just had, and I don't know, maybe this can encourage anybody who might have been on the fence about volunteering for something along these lines. Maybe this could encourage you to come and give it a try yourself. So one of the fellas that I have been working with, really cool guy, he is an immigrant and has come here for a new life, and this is his first child, and he brought his wife here from his home country, and they're making a life for themselves in America. And they've known each other for their whole lives, and they just have a really awesome, beautiful story. I won't go into a whole lot of details, but he's experienced basically a life of working really hard over the past year or so, being alone with himself and working towards bringing his family here to be with him. And he told me tonight that it was that he, through the session where we were talking through some things, and again, I won't be disclosing any of those details, but he said that through talking through this experience and some of the topics within the curriculum that we were discussing, that he made a revelation about himself and about what he had just gone through. And he said it was maybe the biggest revelation and the biggest, most important piece of advice he'd ever gotten in his life. And that blew me away. I mean, removed my socks from my feet, figuratively speaking. Blew me absolutely backwards, because no one has ever said that to me before. And it did a couple of things for me. One, it's extremely humbling, because being in a position where you can have that kind of an impact also means that you're in a position where you could do a whole lot of harm if you don't say what's the right thing. A little bit of pressure there. So it's humbling in that regard, for sure. But more so, it's humbling because, the things we say to other people, you never know when they're going to carry that with them for the rest of their lives, whatever it may be. And for one thing, that's another reason why we should do our best to be kind and mindful of what we say, or at least, if you can't be kind, at least be constructive. But it just highlights the responsibility and the power that we have in the words that we say. And I really want, if you haven't thought about it lately, I really hope that you will consider the words that you use with people in every aspect of your life, what they're going to sow and what they're going to bring forth, because the power of life and death is in the tongue. A little scripture reference for you there. And what you say matters. And another thing I want to mention is, you might not think that you're very important, or you might not think that you have anything important to say, and you might not think that you might not think that what you say is going to count. And it's just not true. It really, really counts in a big way. And it can, as I saw firsthand, witness today, it can literally redefine the trajectory of a person's life, the things that you say. So if you care about people, and frankly, if you care about yourself, be mindful of the words that you're using, and consider that those are seeds that are going to bear fruit. And what kind of fruit do you want to see coming forth from your life? Because it's going to manifest in other people. But even beyond that, what kind of fruit do you want to just know is going to be in the world? Because a lot of times you might not ever see these people again that you say things to in your everyday life, even just in passing. You might not know what that person's going to do with the things that you say to them down the road, or how it's going to impact their day. So, yeah, I guess if you got any integrity and you care about anything, if you care about humanity, then you're going to watch what you say. I had another point I was going to make. I might have to think on it for a second. I might have to chew on this for a second. Maybe circle back around. Maybe take a minute to think. What was it I was going to say about words and seeds and growing, planting seeds? Well, I've probably said all that really matters on that subject. But that's kind of the takeaway that I got today, and a humbling takeaway of your words matter, and they're going to change people's lives. And remember that everybody is fighting something or struggling with something, and they've got questions rolling around inside, and what you say, it could change their life. And you know what? You don't have to go and do some special volunteer thing to make that impact. Although I do encourage it, because it's been pretty gratifying, if I do say so myself. It's been pretty humbling. But I will say, even if you don't have the time to do that, or even the opportunity, you have your everyday life where you can just be more mindful of the things that you say, and it's going to have an impact. So I think that's all I've got to say on that subject. Thanks for listening, and thanks for using some good words, for building people up, for changing some lives. So go on out and do that too. All right, peace.